I love where we are right now. We're in a new time. Technology is kicking. There's all kind of new innovations, new opportunities. Our brother is the owner of Turn One Sim Racing. If you guys have not heard of it, it is taking it's a new industry. It's taking the world by storm. They've now allowed it into the Olympics. You got youth making over six figures. Our brother is here. Our brother Rasheed is here to share with us today to let us know about his business, about this industry, and let us know how people could get involved today on the Empower Hour.
I think this is deep.
Welcome to the Empower Hour. We bring power to the people because the people have the power. This squad's going to entertain, enlighten, and empower y'all. I'm Queen Kaya, joined by Pharaoh Hammond Freeman and Gina the Great. But before we do anything else, like always, we're going to bless this show and our kings and queens listening.
Blessed melanated rising, my beautiful people. I am so grateful to life. I'm grateful to God, our creator, and I'm grateful to our ancestors for creating yet another opportunity for us to be able to get together and for us to be able to just bless our listeners. And as to today's show, let it be uplifting, let it be entertaining. Most importantly, let it be empowering for each and every one of our listeners out there. And I'm sending out that spirit of love, light, unity, strength, great health, and peace. Hotep, amen, and ashe. Aibobo. Guys, what I do.
Why do you apologize every time you say Aibobo?
I apologize. I didn't.
Oh, I thought you said sorry.
Oh no, I didn't say sorry. Whatever, yo, Aibobo. It's no apologies there. Shoot.
I think I actually just I went to go and see my doctor the other day, and she told me that she was going to get me like a secondary opinion, and she said, I'm going to get Dr. Aibobo to look at you. And I went, yes, let us have Dr. Aibobo. That's who I want. That's the one who told me. I should have known that one this whole time. What was I doing?
That's what it do. He's coming with the energy.
He got the magic name. What are you talking about?
Yes. That's what I do. I'm going to use this as a segue as we get ready to go into Parley with the People with our brother Rasheed from Sim One Racing. Yo, this whole industry is it's popping. I'm hearing that there's youth making like six figures doing virtual car racing, yo. And I think if you're a parent and you're listening and you know that your child is always behind a video game, this might be something for them. Stay tuned as we are taking a quick little break, and we'll be back with Parley with the People.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people, y'all.
Yes, beautiful people, we are back. So like I had mentioned at the top of the show, it is a new day. It is technology is coming. Technology is creating all kind of different opportunities for us. And we are very blessed to have our brother Andre Robinson, the owner of Turn One Sim Racing. He's here to bless us, to share a bit about himself, his background, and it's an awesome company that he's launched to bless the community. Grand Rising King, thank you for being with us today.
Greetings, Pharaoh. Greetings, brother Pharaoh. Good. Blessings, and thank you for having me. And greetings to the viewers and listeners all over. Greetings. Yes,
That's love. So, like I like to do on the Empower Hour. So, before we even dive into the business, I like to take a moment to deep dive a little bit, just to talk a little bit of background. Now, you and I, we chat a little bit off air, so we know you have an extensive background. But I do want the listeners to get an idea, a little bit about you before the business itself. So if you could just take a moment, just to bless us a little bit about who you are and your upbringings.
All right. Well, I guess we all have to start somewhere. I was born in Georgetown, Guyana. Mm-hmm. Did most of my schooling there, although I did some schooling in some other countries because my father was a building contractor, so he traveled quite extensively. So I started traveling at a very young age because of him, because of getting the opportunity from him. But as I tell a little bit more about myself, you will see why that interest came and why it is that I was the only one out of 4 siblings that was traveling all this much. But yeah, I did most of my schooling there. In the Caribbean, the system is a bit different. So there's primary and then there's secondary school, which is equivalent to high school here in North America.
Okay.
So graduated high school and started my professional career immediately after.
Nice.
A matter of fact, it might sound strange to people in North America, but I was working during my school days, like working professionally during my school days, and I chose to do so. Like I mentioned before, my father was a building contractor, and rather than have holidays like the rest of the kids, I would usually go on his job sites and help out, learn, since from that tender age, I would prefer to have conversations with people older than myself. So, being around the job sites, being around his workers and stuff like that, meaningful conversations were had.
And they say it's not even about the age. Like you could just be an old soul. So you just you come back.
Funny enough, you referenced that. In many conversations, I do feel many years older than I actually am. And I think it's because of those references where it is that I would have had, and I honestly paid keen attention to what the elders would have said and those meaningful conversations from people older than myself since then. But yeah, started working professionally right out of school as a computer programmer and technician.
Okay.
Yeah. And in those days, computers were a novelty. It was just becoming popular. I remember as a teenager, because I was still a teenager when I graduated. I was the youngest graduating child in my class.
Nice.
Yeah. So I skipped a few moons, but I came on this planet with a few talents of my own. The need for speed, which is probably the main aspect of this conversation leading to the business and everything. The need for speed is probably one of those talents that I came on this planet with. I can remember the very, very first time I tried an RC car, radio control car.
Okay.
I operated it as if I knew what I was doing. The very first time I rode a bicycle, I operated it as if I rode before. Same thing with a motorcycle. Same thing with a real car.
Okay.
So that need for speed was always there. Actually, during my childhood days, my utmost, the only thing I ever wanted to do was become a pilot. That was the only thing I wanted to do. My dreams were shattered when I graduated high school and actually went to the pilot school and heard how much it cost.
Oh gosh.
Yep. My dreams were shattered at that moment. It took me a few months to gather myself again, because that was the only thing I ever wanted to do.
Oh man. No, and you know what? And it's almost sad to hear that, because it's like it's like these opportunities, like we have a lot of talent in the community, and you're not the only person that had to forego their passion or their talent because the means just wasn't there. You know what I mean? So anyway, brother, like I'm glad it's a new day and things are coming together where even as a community, we can help some of these youth who might want to, pursue pilot school. We could come together, rally, put some change together to make it happen. But yes,
I think you should write that one down, because I think my closing words are gonna be something along that line to that reference.
Okay, no problem.
The need for speed was always there, and the interest in technology, and for some strange reason, the knowledge of technology was always there. It's something that I came here with. And funny enough, there are, and as the generations go on, you will find individuals as such that certain things they just click to. You don't have to teach it, you don't have to teach them it. They just click to it immediately.
Yeah.
So I came with a few of those talents. The need for speed and technology being a few of those.
Right.
So I started my professional career right out of high school after not being able to become a pilot. Started as a computer programmer and a technician. That was extensive, and I think as much as I loved and I still love technology, being at that tender age, I think I wasn't mentally ready for that job. If the community, if anyone in the community knows what a computer programmer does, someone who writes computer languages, it is tedious and stressful.
Yeah.
So I think I after a few years, I realized that I wasn't ready for, that level of intense.
Yeah.
Right. In that space of time, though, funny enough, there were a few things that happened. I found another natural talent that I came with, which was art, and more so digital art. I've been a graphic designer as long as I can remember.
Okay.
And I mean, as long as I can remember, that I'm utmost sure that the ones listening to this who know of graphic designs program out there more than likely know Photoshop.
Right, of
You
course.
probably know Photoshop, right?
Of course, yes.
So I've been a graphic designer longer than Photoshop has been around.
Wow. Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good context there. Okay.
I started using a program called Corel Draw.
Okay.
Which is so when you're speaking of graphics, you're speaking of two types of images. There are vector images, which are shapes. Those type of files are mainly used in like the sign industry.
Okay.
And then there are raster graphics, which are the regular images.
Okay.
So CorelDRAW is more a vector-based program, and Photoshop is more a raster-based program. But I started designing or doing what was seen to be what is now called graphic designing since before Photoshop was around.
You see, and now, and as you're breaking it out, and I could see how all the pieces are coming together. So you have the need to speed. You have the tech, the tech knowledge and the tech background, and you have the artistic ability.
Right. So I'm putting the pieces together as we come along.
That's basically
right.
where we're at. Okay.
So in that space of time of being a computer programmer is where I found that love or realized that I had that talent for art, for graphic art. So that career started, and that career or that skill led me to a group that was in charge of entertainment in Guyana.
Okay.
At the time. So I was given the opportunities to be around guys that were 10, 15, 20 years older than myself. Right. I was the youngest in the group again. To be able to mold a country's entertainment future. Yeah. And I specifically phrased it that way because there were many throughout that journey. We were in charge of the major productions in Guyana, major concerts. And there are many events that are left today that are still hosted today that we created.
Nice.
So
can you give me one for an example? Just
there is an event in Guyana called Main Street Lime.
Okay.
And if I can remember correctly, I don't want to toot my own horn because these ideas came up in a group. But if I can remember correctly, I think I named that one.
Right. But you're there. So regardless, yeah. And
yeah. And that event is, if I'm correct, it was still being held not by us. The government had taken it over from us. It had gotten that big that the government had taken it over and made it a cut part of the tourism.
Wow.
Tourism calendar.
Okay.
Yeah. So we help, mold the country's entertainment future. That's exactly what we did. And another element that we used, we were the group that I'm talking about. We were the ones to help pioneer TV in Guyana.
Okay.
We had one of the very first live, and this is early 90s.
Okay.
Sometimes even when TV was a novelty, even when, only a certain
Yep. Elite.
elite,
Mm-hmm.
had access to TVs,
Yeah.
we had one of the first live call-in video programs.
See it. Okay. So now
So
and mhm.
so something like what is Winfred's show called? On Stage.
Right.
Let's
Mhm.
just say something
Okay.
like On Stage with a live call-in segment where it is that you could call, hey, big up Pharaoh, my
Right.
brethren Pharaoh that lives in Montreal, big up Pharaoh, boom, done. Live calling, while it is that we showed videos, we showed interviews, we had live interviews. A matter of fact, because of the both being involved in the production of the shows and having the TV show,
Mm-hmm.
every single entertainment that would come to Guyana have to come on our show.
Of course.
so
Of course.
so which led to the other aspect of my being and where it is that we're going to end up today.
Mm-hmm.
Sales and marketing.
Right. Okay.
Having the TV show, you naturally will get approached to advertise somebody else's product.
Of course.
Naturally.
Yep.
Naturally. So that happened, and the sales and marketing career started there.
You see, and I'm glad you gave us that context and gave us that background, because again, like what you've created and what you're bringing, it's first of all, and from just the conversations we've had, it's more than just a job for you, and it's more than just a business. It's something that there's a passion in it. There's anyways, the listeners are gonna hear it. So let's transition now. Let's dive it. Let's get into the business. So now, we've been alluding to it. So we're talking Sim 1 car racing. So now, turn one. Sorry.
Turn one. And any race fan will know, turn one at any racetrack in any given race is the hottest piece of action you'll ever get.
Okay.
Turn one is where all the action is. So yeah, turn one sim racing.
Good. Now, if you could take a moment to educate our listeners first, because I know when you and I had connected, it was brand new information that you're telling me. So for those who might not know, what is sim racing?
Sim racing is short for simulation racing.
Okay.
And what simulation racing does or aims to do, and actually do it pretty good, mm-hmm. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. What it does is blur the lines between what is actually real and what is virtual. Mm. So now, like everything else, like me coming from so many moons back in the story that I just gave you, mm-hmm. Everything had to start somewhere.
Right.
Back in the days, computer games or games as such, they started off what we call 8-bit. Mm-hmm. So that, that is when probably only the track move or the car move, maybe.
I was going to say, is that Atari days? Is that Atari when you're kind of...
Yeah, just before Atari. Before Atari.
Okay, got it.
So we had to start somewhere.
Yep.
Now, the information that we get today, or what we know as sim racing today, mm-hmm. is so close or so real that it is being used as a training tool. The same titles. And now you're gonna hear my references and my language change. Okay. You will never hear me call what I use, what the software that I use, or the software that sim racers use, mm-hmm. a game. It's not a game.
Okay.
We stopped gaming when it is that you had to spend more than what you paid for your console.
Right. Facts. Yes. Well, seriously. That's a good explanation there. Yeah.
Yeah. You stop gaming the moment it is that you have to spend more than what your console and your controller cost. The moment you have to spend more than that for a different piece of equipment, you stop gaming.
Yeah.
But apart from that, mm-hmm. the technology and effort that is put into both the hardware and software these days, it is to blur the lines of what is real, mm-hmm. and what is virtual.
Jeez. Let's take a quick positive cause just to shout out our homegirls, Kemba and Andrea from Keen Real Estate Group. Whenever you're thinking real estate, whenever you're thinking investments, whenever you're thinking about planning for the long term, think Keen Real Estate Group. They're generating wealth for generations. KeenGroup.ca. If your goal is to purchase a car and to make the process as simple as possible, just get a car broker, guys. You just get a car broker. Big shout out to our homeboy, Hamsdale Jacques, the owner of HJCourtierAuto.com. That's HJCourtierAuto.com. If you're a small to medium-sized business and you're getting started and you're ready to go to the next level, what do you need? You need a phone line and you need a website. Think Mainstream Digicom. They got all your telecommunication needs checked. MainstreamDigicom.com. You're trying to get out on the web. You're trying to understand how to navigate through ads. Check out Java Logics for all your marketing, your digital marketing. Where would we be without Preston? I don't even know. Check out Java Logics. I give thanks to Preston for what he's done for the OFC. The amount of positive reviews we've gotten from all his referrals, we're proud to stand behind his work. Check out javalogics.com. No, it's not just because he's my brother. It's because you can't talk hip-hop in Montreal without saying M City Solo. Guys, check out his latest project, In My Fields, available on mcitysolo.com. If it's not one of the hardest new EPs to hit Montreal, come and let me know. You already know. It's your boy, Pharaoh, bigging up, mcitysolo.com. Keeping the culture alive. I gotta give thanks to West Can Folk Performing Company. For the last 40 years plus, they've been promoting our culture through song, drum, and dance, educating youth, the children, the seniors. Just check them out, westcanfolk.com.
Girl, what are you cooking?
My curry chicken.
Ooh, you're burning it.
Gosh, it looks so...
It's okay, girl. You need the Curry House. They have the best Caribbean food in town. 2 locations in Montreal, West Island, and Côte-de-Neige. For more information, follow Caribbean Curry House, MTL. Don't forget to mention the Empower Hour for your 10% discount.
So, who placed in the order?
Me.
DeVito, WizKid, Burna Boy. Those are just some of the big names that's blessed Montreal thanks to Afrobeats Montreal. Definitely check out Afrobeats MTL for all concerts, show listings, everything that has to do with Afrobeats in the city. Check out Afrobeats MTL. One full circle. We are the Melanated Community Resource Hub and Network. What does that mean? We're here for each other.
No, there are many different titles out there. They're entry-level titles and they're advanced titles. The advanced titles are so advanced that there are specific titles that mimic specific things. Like my sim of choice. My sim of choice is Assetto Corsa Competizione, or ACC.
Okay.
ACC mimics or recreates 4 tournaments that happens real life.
Okay.
So on any given season, the information that the real drivers experience and feel, we experience the same thing.
Jeez.
Why? The manufacturers of the race cars send their data to the developers of the titles. So it is programmed into the titles. So we are feeling the exact same feel that the drivers in real life feel. It goes both ways as well. Because there are sim racers that have gotten to such a high level that the manufacturers would send them the data, they test the data, and send it back to the manufacturers. So it's a two-way street. Yep. So this is where I'm going with this. So the same sim racers that I'm talking about that will send the data back are people now who you just heard what they are or what they were, sim racers who are now working in real life scenarios. I could tell you of people who started out gaming, as you would say, that are now real life drivers, that are now real life mechanics, that are now real life engineers.
Just off the training that they got through the platforms.
Just off the training that they got from the titles that we use.
Jeez.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Sim racing is an official sport in other parts of the world. Sim racing was added to the last Olympics. It is in the next Olympics as well.
So wait, it's just Canada's just to catch up because it's just and for what you're saying, it's just a matter of time then because it's like
It is a matter of
Canada's
time.
slow to move. It could be the cold, it could be the ice. I don't know, but
No, I'm really hoping that this broadcast and this information gets out to the right ears.
okay.
We've already started our conversation because as you rightfully mentioned earlier, there were a few things that happened to us. We had a recent grand opening launch, and our MPP of Guelph was there in attendance.
Okay.
He's a car enthusiast himself.
Nice.
It just so happens that his office is not the one responsible to taking it to the government, but
Okay.
we've already put forward a document to him.
Nice.
To help point us in the right direction, to lobby the government to have Canada recognize sim racing as a national sport.
Yes.
Every country in Europe has a national sim racing team that competes on the highest level you could think of.
Wow.
Canada needs to catch up.
That's it.
Brother Pharaoh, apart from the real world career fields that you could have, there are immediate prizes, big money prizes, I'm telling you. I just witnessed 3 guys who are probably the best sim racers in the world win 120,000 euros from one race.
What? Hold on.
Yes, sir.
I did not expect you to say that. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Yo, I'm sure people listening right now said, well, hold on. You made people sit up. They're like, wait, hold on. Yeah. He said
Yes, sir.
120,000 euros.
It was a 24-hour race, mind you. It was a 24-hour race. But, I mean, what else are you doing in 24 hours?
Thank you. For that kind of payday, it's well worth it. It's well worth the effort. Yes.
Yeah. You know, so apart from the real world careers that you could, gain, there are prizes out there to be won. But those prizes obviously are on the highest level.
Of
And that is what we're trying to get the right ear to listen in Canada for us to get to that level,
And we have talent here. We have skills.
We do have talent, bro. We have tons of talent. From the moment we let the cat out of the bag about this idea, it was remarkable the responses that we got from social media. People start sending us photographs of their setup that they have home, like, this is what I have. I can't wait to come try yours. And and from the moment it is that we open doors, the customers that have come through are majority people who have already been sim racing. And I could tell you it's a great bunch of guys and they're talented. We have tons of talent here. Tons.
Again, I want our listeners to really grasp what we're talking about right now, because again, this is it's what's the word I'm looking for? Because it's pioneering to next, like it's an industry that exists. It's just not tapped into properly here. So you are leading the way and opening the way and creating opportunities for people that might not even know, like, if that, like really what's happening right now. So it's like I just wanted to, put a little focus on that, so the listeners could really grasp what we're talking about right now. This is an industry that exists in other parts of the world. You're opening it up for us here in Canada and creating this space for us to be for other people who might be sim racing at home, who might not be aware that you're in the process of opening this up. And it's like telling a person like me about something like this, if it's a matter of we need to mobilize, create a petition, we need to get people to sign a letter, if it's we need to start reaching out to sim racers across Canada and say, guys,
I think we're gonna have to.
This is what we have to do. Because Queen Kaya, you came in right here on time, Queen, because we are talking the talk.
I love that. You know that's my favorite. So tell me about the sim racing, because I heard that it's all the rave right now.
Yo,
Queen. Greetings, sister. Greetings.
Yes.
Greetings.
So wait,
where
hold on.
Y'all at with it?
I gotta tell you where we were just at, because it's like So just giving a quick recap again. So for those who are listening, those who might just be now tuning in, we are here with our brother Andre Robinson. He is the owner. Is he owner or co-owner?
A co-owner. There are three of us.
Okay, he's one of the co-owners. Turn One Sim Racing. Kaya, just so you know, sim racing is something that is all over the world, except now it's just Canada hasn't properly tapped in yet. So our brother here is now opening up the opportunities for people who are sim racers. So now, and again, I'm going to do my part in just recapping what is sim racing. So it's not gaming. Okay. Now that we have this understanding, it ain't gaming. It's next level. You're in a virtual space. Now I had a couple cool questions, but it's virtual racing.
Yep.
But it's done on a level where it's the experience is like, you might as well be on a racetrack for real. To the point where when you get to a professional top tier level, people like our brother was just mentioning, the winner of the last top tier race came out with 120,000 euros. Exactly.
What?
Exactly. I knew you were going to respond like that.
From in the house? From in their own house?
Yeah, from in their own house. From in their own house. Yeah.
I mean, right?
Okay, so let me give you some of the numbers, and don't necessarily. Well, I mean, I know this is being recorded and everything, but don't quote me to the cent on these numbers. Okay. It's in a ballpark figure.
No problem.
But this is where the industry was at in 2019, just before the pandemic hit. The industry was worth about 14.5 billion. Hold on. In 2019. Just after during the pandemic, it was taken again 2.5 years after. It was worth 34 billion. Now, this is one of the industries that the pandemic did good to.
Of course.
Right? Everyone was home. Everyone was sim racing. When you have a chance, there are thousands of streamers that popped up. The majority of them are on the Twitch TV platform. And you will see for yourselves in their bios that many of them, 2/3 of them, started sim racing in 2020.
Right. With the pandemic.
During the pandemic.
Yep.
So the industry boomed. Wow. That being said, this idea was had before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened. But then those data only proved us right. Exactly. It only proved that there is a need for a space and something of this nature.
Yeah.
That's all it did. That's all it did. So
my call out to our community. First of all, so if you have a young son or daughter at home that has a passion, and they could start as just gamers. They might just be gamers and they have a passion. They are behind the video games or whatever be the case. I implore you guys, please reach out to our brother. Reach out to Turn One, because you could be creating an opportunity for your child where it could be a career. Because even and the thing I even have to say, when you mentioned the fact that you have people who are now in real careers as mechanics, as
yes,
like just off of the platforms and the simulations that they're working on, it gave me goosebumps, because
yes,
it's something where anything that creates opportunity for me. Because everybody knows my heart is for the youth. My everything I build is to create opportunity for our future generation. Right. So to know that they could come in and be in a virtual space and then leave from there and actually get a career, come out with some kind of experience where it's like, guys, we have to stand behind these kind of initiatives. Like this.
I love this. It's like you said, the children can take it, can go and participate in this. So for me, I'm like, your little broke best friend don't got to be a little broke best friend. They could be a little rich best friend, and the possibilities for this are endless, because I could see this going a whole lot further. Actually, I know how to capitalize on those types of things. That's why God didn't give me kids, because I would have little 2-year-olds doing sim racing. Like, come on, cut the corner.
No, so let me add to the excitement.
Yes.
I mean, and not necessarily excitement, but passing the information on. Now, because it's a real sport,
Mm-hmm.
like anything, like any other sport, you obviously have to invest a lot of time
Yeah.
and practice.
Yeah.
This sport, motorsport in general, is expensive.
Right. Yes.
If you take into consideration what it costs a race team per race weekend,
Mm.
let me give you an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Transportation of the race car from wherever it is to the racetrack, fuel, specific fuel for the race car,
Yeah.
different sets of tires for the race car. You have to pay a crew for the race car.
Mm.
And the list could go on and on and on and on and on.
Yep. Yes.
No, just imagine going out in the racetrack, first practice, you head out in the racetrack, run 2-3 corners, boom, you crashed, big crash.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of your weekend, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or unless it is that your team has expendable funds
That's it.
to get more parts in quick enough to put your car back together, that's the end of your weekend.
Yeah.
Now in sim racing, okay, before I move on, in that big crash, you might be seriously hurt.
That's
because
true
this
too.
sport, because this sport, the sport in real life, is a very dangerous sport.
Yeah.
So okay, sim racing, we have none of those weekend costs.
Right. Yes.
We don't
Yes.
we don't pay for fuel. We don't pay for a race team. We don't pay for tires.
Jeez.
We don't crash and die either.
That's it.
Amen.
Amen.
We might sprain a thumb.
Okay.
We might sprain a thumb because
Right. Yeah.
they are equipment that mimics the real world in such that
Yeah.
the forces that you feel
Mm.
is strong.
Okay. Okay.
And that is more than likely for an inexperienced sim racer, someone who's just starting out. I'm more than likely, well, if you come to turn one, we definitely will be turning down our force feedback for someone who is just starting off.
Okay.
But
So
for
it
the
gives
most-
you like, so when you say force feedback, so so you get the feel.
So I'm getting into, because I know one of the questions that you were going to ask, because you said you had a few questions and I could pick your brain. You're probably wanting me to walk you through what it really looks like. So, okay, there is a screen in front of you. You are sitting in, imagine your car with nothing around, everything stripped. So you're sitting in the seat and you have your pedals and your steering wheel. Everything else is stripped.
Okay.
So that is what you have as your hardware.
Okay.
The software now, like I just, so apart from the car manufacturers' involvement in this sport,
Mhm.
every other entity in real world that you could think of that might play an intricate part in making a sim title feel real is involved.
Mm.
The tracks that we drive on virtually are laser scanned by the Pharaoh. Laser scanned. I'm telling you, every single crack, every bump, every curb, every graffiti painting that is on the racetrack or besides it, it is what we see in the
In
title.
real life. In
It is that detailed.
right.
It is that detailed.
And the thing is, I'm not sorry. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, sorry.
So all that put together,
Mhm.
the visuals with your tracks being laser scanned and the equipment that I just mentioned.
Mhm.
The most important thing there is probably your steering wheel and pedals.
Okay.
I mean, your seating could be, it could vary, but the most
Right.
important thing is your steering wheel and pedals.
Okay.
Depending on the price that you paid for them,
Of course. Yep.
depending on the price that you paid for them, is what level of equipment you'd have and the amount of information that you'll get back. More expensive, obviously, more information you'll get.
That's it.
When I say information, I'm telling you, it is to the finest detail that you could feel the car under you slipping, or you could feel when you go over a curb, you could feel when you touch the grass, you could feel when your traction controls is activated. You could feel when your ABS is activated. You
Like
could
when you
feel
skid, like
every single thing, every single aspect of driving and controlling this car is what you feel to your steering wheel and pedals. That is how the technology works.
Wow. Does it have like an ocular piece?
No, the next level, the
Mhm.
next level to what is available is VR. That is what you're talking about. Now, for sim racing, if you were racing with a screen in front of you and then tried VR, you can't use the screen again.
Right.
It is a matter of night and day the experience that you get from VR. It is already immersive. The visuals that we get, meaning that depending on the amount of money that you spend on your setup, you could have your setup with screens that wrap all around you so you could see at the side of your car. That is only a few people. Most of us only have a screen as large as we could get that is in front of us. So there's only so much amount of real estate that we get to see from side to side.
right.
So
But if you have bank and you could invest in side screens too.
Or if you do try VR, if you do ever get the chance to sim race in VR, the notion of being able to look left and look right at your opponents is a game changer.
Wow.
It's a game changer. It's a game changer. I'll tell you that.
So if I get 360 inches, I'm in here killing them.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yo, you see now, like, I knew this was gonna happen because we did such a deep dive. I myself got super passionate and excited about it. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, okay, hold on. We need to start winding. We need to start bringing this. So, because I'm telling you, and I strongly encourage Kai. I feel we got to make a road trip. I think we got to make a road trip. We got to go out.
I'm with that.
All right. I think just to wrap this whole thing up, because it's one thing. It's like it's going to be this. There's definitely going to be a part 2 where we talk about the experience. We might even have to broadcast live from there. We got to figure this out. But now, so for people who are listening now, right? So for people who are listening and they're like, okay, all right, what, like they either our brothers and sisters who are in Ontario or even those who are in Quebec and they're passionate enough and they want to come down and they want to come check you out. We need to share some contact info. How do they get in contact with you? And how does it work? Like, how does it work to, like, do they have to register? Do they become a member? Do you just pay to play? Like, how does that work?
Well, all the information is on the website. The website is turn1 simracing.ca. And main email contact is info@turn1simracing.ca.
Okay.
Our business line is 519-780-0003. So 780-0003.
Perfect.
And there are plans to have memberships. Now, as much as I'm a tech type of person, taking on this project, the 3 directors, I'm the technical one. Okay. So most of the technical stuff was left on me. And we collectively decided to not bite off more than we could chew in terms of what we said we were going to deliver to the public. Okay. We wanted to cross those hurdles step by step.
Good.
So why it is that we didn't start with tiers and stuff, because we are learning a new complicated software. We spent a significant amount of time and money on our booking module.
Yes.
We are grateful for having the opportunity to meet the company that we went with. They're called Book Now. So our booking module is designed to make the entire booking process seamless for the customer.
Beautiful.
So no, you don't have to be a member, but if it is that you are planning on visit, we encourage you to book ahead, because the walk-ins are not guaranteed. They're
exactly
be filled at the time.
Yeah.
So our booking module allows you to choose your date and time at your convenience. Our pricing is also dynamic. So depending on what day of the week, what time of day you book, pricing is different.
Yes.
There is pricing there for groups. There's dynamic pricing there for the amount of hours the more hours you book, the less you pay. So yeah, it is extensive and it is a new software that we all are learning. So that is the reason why it is that we will be implementing memberships and different tiers of memberships in the coming months.
Brother, this is honestly what you guys have done, what you have created. Again, congratulations on the launch and the open. And you see, I appreciate you guys are taking the time to, to grow things and, to just to make sure you're crossing your T's, dotting your I's, so to speak. I definitely envision, I don't know if it's your vision, but I would love to see Turn One across Canada. I think there
Yes,
should
it
be
is.
I think
Yes,
there
it
should be
is.
a
Yes,
Turn
it
One
is
in
our
every
vision.
city.
Yes, it is our vision. I was gonna say before I gave out the information, but I knew dealing with our business is priority. But there is a similar operation in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's a
Okay.
similar case in Montreal. So earlier when it is that you said that we were the first, we're not the 1st and we are still not the first in Ontario. There was one before, just before the pandemic. He actually closed during the pandemic, and did not open, did not reopen.
Okay.
Sorry, but it is still good to know that we might be in the forefront of the discussion when it is that this conversation is taken to the government.
Brother,
And
you should. What do you mean? You might be. You definitely should be at the forefront. How you mean?
Yeah, we're humbled. We're humbled by the opportunity, and just in keeping in context with what we're doing, and we are grateful to have had this opportunity. One, to be able to offer Guelph and the surrounding cities where we live, first and foremost, this opportunity to get involved in this sport. One parent agreed, and she was adamant. She was like, if it is one sport that I'm gonna get my child into, it's sim racing, because it's nice, clean, fun. And I couldn't agree with her more. I couldn't agree with her more.
Yeah.
So we're just grateful and humbled to be able to offer this to, first and foremost, Guelph and surrounding cities. And as you rightfully mentioned, the vision is to take it all across Canada, in as many cities as we can.
Brother,
I second that. I second that. I'm your two in agreement right now to God, because I love that. I hope that you literally take over the entire place with this, because this is what the people need.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
This is beautiful. So now, this has been a fun, exciting, very invigorating. Thank you for bringing this to the community, and again, just creating, for those who might not even been aware that it's existed, right?
Yep.
So thank you for creating that. Now you guys know how I love to close up these Parlay with the Peoples. This is the Empower Hour show, so we do like to have our guests leave our listeners with some kind of empowering words. So let me put you on the spot here. What kind of words would you like to leave with our listeners today?
It's probably gonna sound cliche, but to the youngsters and to anyone out there, not necessarily youngsters, but more for the youngsters, because they are the future. Just trust in yourself. Just trust in what you know. Trust in what you know. Stay on the right path. I'm sorry, but I can't say that as Canadian as I probably should, but stay on the right path.
Yes.
As a Rastafarian, it is important to practice what I preach. I can't be looking one way, saying something else, and doing something else. We practice what we preach. And as I just mentioned, how humbled we are to have this opportunity. And in closing, like I said, just trust in yourself and stay on the right path.
Give thanks. I give thanks, brother. Again, this has been a very fun interview. I have to say, it's opened some things. I'm gonna talk to my children as soon as I get off, just to see what they're about. Yes. Just see if they know about this. Plug them to some sites. Let's see if they have an interest, because I know we did football. My son got a concussion. He stopped doing that. We're so this could be it. My daughter, she's into video games. You never know. But anyways, this has been an awesome one. So again, as we're closing up, I thank you for being on, Brother Robinson.
I give thanks for having me, Brother Farrah. Give thanks.
That's love. And again, listeners, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for supporting Parlay with the People.
Queen Kaya, nice to meet you.
Peace.